I think. Stuart.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, my
Can't hear
man.
you now. Great.
I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, oh, okay, good. Now I can hear you too.
Okay, cool,
I
cool.
don't. I don't know if my camera will work, so we'll do this the old-fashioned way.
Sounds good. Your picture looks very professional.
That's when I was dressed up.
Yeah, I noticed that
Next time.
when we had lunch, you were in your Hawaiian shirt. You were just chilling, and after lunch, Stuart, we had lunch at the Lazy Dog Cafe. I'm off to go do some work, and Stuart's like, I think I'll just go catch a movie. And I'm like, that's pretty nice to be able to just say I want to go catch a movie.
You made me feel guilty, though. I saw you walking away, and I decided I better go do some work too.
That's funny.
Well, I've been having a great time with this,
Very cool.
and I don't mind the $5 return on that, but I really think you need to call the vendors as much as you can. I think that's a big, and you hit on that the first week.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal. I filled out a few of those online forms, and I got a call back on one, but out of 5, I think 4 haven't responded, and I call them back to follow up.
Mm-hmm.
That works really well, but it still comes down to a phone call, I think.
Yeah, totally. So like, what's been your been your typical like for me? It's always been kind of like it's so much easier when you do the phone call because they almost have to like make a decision on the spot, and they can't just kind of poo-poo you. What's your kind of take then?
I just tell them I'm a drop shipper. It's the line you used. I'm a drop shipper that's established, and I'd like to know about reselling their products. And yesterday I made a couple calls, and one person said, well, we don't do that on the residential side. Let me send you to the commercial side. Then I talked to the commercial side, and they said, no, you have to warehouse everything. You have to keep it all, and we sell big bulky pallets full of stuff. And I said, well, it's not going to work then. But I'll tell you, the second vendor that I approached, and I just received their catalogs today. They sent a box salts in the package to say thanks for becoming one of our people, or they call it partners.
That's cool.
And the cool thing is, I was saying there's 13 pages of products. I mean, this one vendor, they have a private label, they have drop shipping, they have wholesaling. They're probably 5 miles from me, and they're international. And so, I mean, I'm going down their SKUs today and thinking their product list, and thinking all the products I can bundle together. That was my thought with them, because I'm noticing that there seem to be a lot of people that have an Amazon presence that are either the manufacturer or as close to the manufacturer as you can get, and they're using the MAP pricing.
Yeah.
And you can't compete with it.
Yeah.
But if you can bundle, oh, look out.
Yeah, totally. And that's cool. Like, and that's really the edge, especially. It's funny because there's a lot of people don't who do drop shipping don't bundle to begin with, and then 2, there's really no way to bundle in an efficient manner unless you're using the tools that I had mentioned to you before, the like Spark Shipping and stuff, and it really opens up so many possibilities to be able to outdo your competition, which is funny because your competition can actually be your vendor or people with them.
Well, they're not, you said it, they're not that sophisticated when it comes to online selling. Most of them that I've talked to, when I go look at the listings that they have up there, they're not that good, most of them. I mean, You can just see they kind of threw their product up there. And I think, though, for me, especially what I saw with this one vendor, there's just so many products that you can put together. They're selling products that need to be bundled anyway.
Yeah.
Because they're selling parts of things that the person has to buy something else to use it anyway.
Totally.
So it's, it's just an open door. But my thought was with this, Dean, is that if you can have a handful of vendors that are like that, I mean, you don't even have to worry about spreading yourself too thin trying to bundle between vendors. You just bundle within the same vendor.
Exactly.
And then the shipping program you're talking about would sequence everything and get it all seamless. But just the fact that it's not a headache to try to go out and find another product, to bundle. I mean,
Totally, totally. And the cool thing is, you know, I was talking with people yesterday on a webinar that I was on, is that you found one vendor right now that has 13 pages of product. Um,
There's
uh,
probably 13,000 products on there.
oh, see,
Literally. But let me make sure you understand. In that, there's parts to the products.
correct.
So they're selling parts to the product. So I'm not going to be selling individual parts. But point is, you know, they've got so many products.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Well,
it's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, the best part about that too is because, like you said, you can bundle like the actual product with, you know, spare part, saying like, you know, and people say, oh, cool, just in case in case it breaks or something like that, I can do whatever. And the best part about it is, you know, you were doing like retail arbitrage and things like that before.
Yeah. Well, I was doing the Brett's approach, you know, bundling products. You know, going down to the store and buying something, or finding it overseas in China and bundling. In fact, I've got a few bundles that are doing really well, but I'm not that interested in replenishing them. I mean, it's kind of a, you know, and what I'm finding is, I think you really have to become a do a vendor search. You know, I noticed you're skipping the second step there, where you look for the key term. I found myself doing the same thing you're doing, where I went right to the vendor first to look to see if I've even got, if it's even something I want to do the key search term. But you know, it kind of goes both ways depending on what I find. But it's a lot of fun, you know, and you can really be productive in a short period of time. So business plan, in the sense that you can have a lot of product, or SKUs, if you will, have a few vendors, and then still manage the business and go out and have a life.
Totally. It's so interesting that you said that, because it proves the point that, I mean, you could be, you know, a lot of people do retail arbitrage or things like that, or they'll do even private label or even wholesale or whatever. But especially like the retail arbitrage guys that have to go out and find stuff, you know, they'll spend 8 hours trying to find something, and hopefully actually find something at the store to sell. And in the amount of time that you've taken to find that one vendor, now you have thousands of products that once you've set them up, whether you've hopped on the listings or you've done a bundle with them, and once that bundle starts selling, you never have to go out again. I mean, it'll just keep doing its thing, and you never have to go out again, and become scalable as well, because then you can hire you know, family members or whatever to manage the whole thing and add new listings, or to bundle new things together and teach them. It's like, it's just such a, I mean, just off of that one vendor that you got, how crazy is that?
That's the point. And I think you hit on it too. Make the call, because you can't prejudge the vendor. I mean, I've gone to the websites of some vendors and they look great, and I found one yesterday that looked a lot like the Edge Star that you found last week. In fact, I would bet it's a sister company, because they had almost the same verbiage on that page that said, we've got a new dropship program, everything's great, don't call us if you want to sell on Amazon and eBay, right? So I started looking through it, and then I realized it was such a competitive, everything was so competitive, and I didn't really even want to go through it until I called them, and they said, yeah, we'll consider it if it was the map pricing thing. It's the exact same thing.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's really, so you can't prejudge. And I find myself being, it's almost like throw everything up and see what sticks with the vendors, because some of them, you can't tell from their online presence. I mean, I didn't expect this one to send me a box of chocolates with salts for my barbecue, and you know, now they send me the price list, and it's just huge. I mean, I'm just my head's just turning and spinning on what I can put together here. So
isn't that cool?
It's really great. Like so I'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is awesome, man. That is awesome, man. Yeah.
So it's back to that Nike commercial. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it.